Everybody move! Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. 2024. She's gonna be a banger. Is that what the YouTubers say? I don't know. Welcome back to my Harley Davidson. If you've watched my previous video, like the new bike reveal, then you'd obviously have seen the bike before. I didn't really go into in-depth about the bike in that video, so this is more of a, not a first ride review, but you know, first impressions I guess. The fuel lights come on, shock. Can we just take a minute to appreciate this glorious weather as well? Cornwall's delivering today, it's bloody lovely. Now, before I start going in on the bike and, you know, details, etc, etc, everything I've read online so far has been quite negative towards the bike. And the main thing that most people have been criticising is it a real Harley? And I mean, well, yeah, it's made by Harley, it's got the brand, it looks like a Harley, it sounds like a Harley. It's just a bit more modern and a bit different. But who's to say that modern isn't better? And what I mean by modern is that all of these air-cooled engines, the Harleys of old, the amount of things you read online about them being unreliable, etc, etc, yes, very true. So what's wrong with a bit of change? This has got the Revolution X V-twin engine, 6-speed, liquid cooled, so it's not your typical air cooled Harley. It's made in India, so unlike the other Harleys, it's not made in America. But who cares? If a company is still making these bikes, then it's still a Harley, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not potato. It's madness that people don't give this bike the justification it actually deserves, because so far of owning it, it's been brilliant. It's such a cool little bike. I know the market that they've gone for is the commuters, the younger generation. It's a cheap Harley to get into the brand, etc. And you know, they've done it. It does what it says on the tin. But at the same time, it's so much more than that, I feel anyway. Gonna have to chuck some fuel in because she's a bit hungry. Don't go in the fast lane. We'll go then. Oh my god, it sounds so good. These are contactless, aren't they? Yes. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Always shake. Whoa. Right, we're fueled up, ready. I don't care what anyone says. It gets the attention it deserves while it's on the road by the public. People always stop and stare at it. It sounds mega. And it goes like hell. It just sounds so good. Red light. Green light. Oh, it sounds so good. That's about half the tank gone already. I think it's more the Harley purists. They don't like it. I'm not an experienced Harley rider. I've ridden a few bikes, I've ridden a couple of Harleys, but I'm not a die-hard Harley enthusiast. So maybe I don't have the knowledge that one of those Harley Forever guys do, which is fair enough, I get it. But you can't deny that this is a cracking little bike. You really can't. goes like hell. It sounds wicked with this Vance & Hines exhaust on it. Just over 60 bhp and 70 something newton meters of torque. I can't remember the exact. And it pulls well. You know, it's not an overly powered bike. It's not meant to be. For what it is and for what it's meant to do, it's brilliant. They've designed this bike purely for commuting and stuff, and the younger generation are getting younger guys into Harleys, and I think they could have done that. I just think the negativity around the bike killed it. For some unknown reason, the cult following of Harley just don't like it. But I'm not your average Harley rider. I don't care if you think I'm wrong, I don't care if you think I'm right. And whenever you buy a bike, a car, or whatever it is you're into, as long as it makes you feel good and you like it, then who cares? And to be honest with you, everything about this bike so far, I can't actually say a bad word about it. I genuinely can't. Expect when I bought the bike online, because obviously I bought it blind, just from photos, never ridden it. It turned up, and you know, I went out. It was a bit awkward to get used to at first, the riding position, but that's the same with every bike. When I bought my Ninja, me getting used to that riding position took me days. This one, within 10 minutes, my hips sort of adjusted, and it all felt good. And so far, I actually prefer riding this over my other two bikes. The seat is uber comfy. The bars are quite wide, but it's comfortable. The only thing I would maybe do is raise the bars a little bit towards me, just to sort of bring my shoulders back a little bit, but apart from that, the actual riding position of the bike is really nice. The foot peg position, for me, it feels quite good. You do feel like you're resting the rear of your foot on the exhaust sometimes, and I think that could become an issue with melting shoes. So as far as riding position goes, it's very nice, and you feel like you could eat up a lot of miles. I guess that's what Harleys are known for, isn't it? You know, Nevada desert, mile munchers, cruisers. Handling wise, it's second to none. That this bike's set up ergonomically, big word. Suspension feels quite sporty. It's quite hard and harsh, but still forgiving. The rear suspension is piggyback suspension. It is adjustable. Not sure I want to fiddle about with it too much for what I've ridden the bike on and how it's felt so far. It feels quite good. It's nimble. You can chuck it into corners. It handles surprisingly well. This engine is brilliant though. The low down grunt that you get through the gears, you find yourself never bloody changing gear. Unless you want to make bangs and pops. Oh my god, it's disgusting. Look at this, lovely bit of scenery. Yeah, so if I put it in fifth, we're just cruising, 2,500 revs, 40 mile an hour. It just picks up so well. So I mean, you just stay in fifth and just cruise. Fuel wise, I did touch on it a little bit in my last video. It's a 13 litre fuel tank. Supposedly you get 160 miles out of the tank. I don't think it will. I got 120 before the fuel light come on, and then you supposedly got about a 30 mile or 26 to 30 mile range on the reserve. So I guess depending on how you ride, you can maybe get 160. I think that's being generous, but I've certainly not seen that number yet. Maybe if it was a motorway stint, a bit more economical, might be a bit different. It's just a joy to ride. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, it's actually quite cold up here today. I'll tell you what this bike makes me want to do, is just make me want to ride and ride and ride. Especially on a day like today. I mean, look at this. It's just sensational. So I've put about 300 miles or so onto the bike so far. And so far, guys, we are A-OK. If it's on your radar or something that you want to try or buy, I wouldn't rule it out if I was you. It surprised me that much that, you know, if it's something that you want to try, or if you're considering buying, I would definitely look into it. And if you've got the chance to ride one and test drive one, then I would also do that as well. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Not only that, is that the price range of these bikes is mental. I didn't pay a lot of money for this bike, and it had 800 miles on the clock. I didn't pay a lot of money for it in comparison to its competitors and bikes of a similar size and type. You know, you're talking a considerable saving. I won't give you the exact figure, but it was just over 4 grand. So when you compare that to similar models of, I don't know, a Triumph Scrambler, that sort of thing, it's probably half of what you would pay for one of those. And this is a lot of bike, so don't rule it out. Give one a go and see what you think. Not only that, you'll be a Harley rider. It doesn't really get much cooler than that, does it, with a motorbike? Try and find somewhere to pull over so you can have a proper look at the looks of the bike, because I think it looks the mutts nuts. What's down here? I mean, it's a pretty looking bike, isn't it? You can't deny that. And the paintwork as well, it looks fucking lovely. But just look at the engine, everything just looks really cool, really cool. The only thing I would change is those rear shocks, maybe black. If they were black, it's already had the tail tidy put on as well, which makes a massive difference. The old tail, I'll put a picture up on the screen, horrendous. But she looks good, and I reckon that's everything covered, guys. If I've not bored you to death and you're interested in seeing more of this bike and my other bikes and what's to come this year, please hit subscribe, that'd be amazing. And I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao for now.